Here we go.
Here we go.
Buenas noches a todos. Soy Tasha de Tasha Teaches Spanish y estamos aquí con otro episodio de Hablamos Español. Y esta noche estoy muy feliz tener con nosotros Brennan Baldwin. Hola, Brennan.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy bien, gracias.
Qué bien.
All right, and so this is your first time watching Hablamos Español. Gracias por venir. Bienvenido. And all that other stuff. Oh, hey, one viewer. And as you're coming in, guys, please drop your name, where you're from, just a little something. Connect with us. We love to hear from our viewers. All right. So now we're going to get into Brennan. But this, like I said, this is your first time. What we normally do, we start with an introduction from the guest. And the guest says their introduction. But the guest says their introduction in, guess what? Español. Right. And so this is the opportunity for you, the viewer, to test your Español. What did you get? What did you not get? You know, it's a good time for you to see where you are with the language, because most of us know more than we realize. And at the end, al fin, Brennan will come back. I'll ask him the same questions and he'll say them in English and you can get confirmation. All right. Vámonos. So sabemos ya que tu nombre es Brennan. Entonces, Brennan, ¿de dónde eres?
Yo soy de una ciudad que se llama La Grange. Queda a unos 20 minutos de la ciudad de Chicago.
Ok, muy bien. ¿Y cuáles son tus pasatiempos?
Mis pasatiempos favoritos son viajar y comer. Acabo de cumplir 30 años y mi reto para cumplir 30 años fue conocer 30 países antes de cumplir 30 años. Y gracias a Dios, el año pasado cumplí 30 países. Ahora estoy en 32 países. Pero eso
¡felicidades! Entonces, tu vida es como la película El alrededor del mundo en 80 días.
Así es, sí.
¡Qué bueno! Y yo solo he estado en 5.
Eso cuenta, eso no, todavía tiene tiempo, no pasa nada.
Hello again, viewers. Thanks for coming in. Please drop your name, where you're from. Hey, Deanna. This must be one of your guests, Brennan. Somebody named Deanna Elliott. No. Hey, Deanna. Well, I don't. Hey, thank you for joining us. And I hope you know somebody I know, and you're mad that I don't recognize. But anyway, thank you, Deanna. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. The next question. La próxima pregunta es: habla o díganos un poco de tu familia.
Bueno, mi familia es bien grande y te digo por qué. Mi mamá es de Liberia, del oeste de África, y pues ella fue adoptada cuando tenía 2 años y por eso tenemos su familia biológica, tenemos su familia adoptiva y pues la familia de mi papá también es bien grande y por eso tenemos mucha gente. Pero mi familia íntima, tengo 3 hermanos y mis padres.
¿Tú eres el mayor, en el medio,
el segundo mayor? Tengo un hermano mayor.
Ok. ¿Qué más? ¿Tu trabajo o trabajos? ¿Qué haces?
Yo soy un trabajador social. Yo trabajo con víctimas de violencia doméstica en la corte aquí en Chicago.
Ok. Qué amable, qué sincero. ¿Qué usted quiere o qué tú quieres en el futuro si sea diferente de lo que haces ahora?
Bueno, siempre he querido trabajar en emigración por causa de mi mamá, como ella fue adoptada bien temprano en su vida. Hemos tenido algunos problemas con eso. Te cuento por qué. Hace 4 o 5 años nos dijeron que ella no era una ciudadana. Y pues ella ha pasado toda su vida acá en los Estados Unidos, no conoce África. Y pues cuando ella solicitó su pasaporte, nos dijeron, pues, oye, tú no eres una ciudadana, tú tienes que aplicar. Y ya había pasado más de 50 años en este país y nada, ya se había casado.
Entonces, ahora ella está en el proceso o...
Gracias a Dios, el año pasado ya cumplió su solicitud. Sí.
Qué bonito. Entonces, por eso quieres trabajar en inmigración ahora.
Sí,
okay.
Por eso.
Qué bonito. Al final, ¿tu canción favorita de español o cantante?
Buena pregunta. Hay una canción que recién descubrí, se llama Te Gusta. Es como medio reggaetón, medio afrobeat. Me encanta la canción. Se llama Te Gusta.
Okay. Oh, come. Hey, non-viewers, what's up, y'all? Say something to me. Leave something in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. Brennan, I think you're pretty famous. I think that's why these people are coming in here. Like, pero de hablar de una canción bien conocida, yo descubrí una canción mexicana, tejano, supongo. Se llama Gracias. Y es como, gracias, no sé, nada más que gracias, pero más o menos el hombre, quiero aprenderlo, porque el hombre está hablando directamente a sus haters y él está diciendo gracias por todos los problemas, por eso yo soy más fuerte. Voy a practicar esta canción y cantarlo en karaoke.
¿Quién es el cantante? ¿Cómo se llama?
No sé, David, no sé nada. Solo escuchen la canción en un anuncio, okay. un ad, no sé nada. Pero era interesante escuchar las palabras como, oh, okay. Hey, I don't want to mess up your name, Miss Wilson. I'm going to try Turquía. Sorry if it's wrong, ma'am. But hey, Miss Wilson, buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
All right. So that's it, guys. The end for you English speaking viewers. We are done. And hopefully you got something out of that. Hopefully you comprehended something. Stay around to the end to see if you were right or wrong. All right. So now we're going to dive in, like Trey Songz says. Number one, let's start at the beginning, Brennan. Why did you even start to learn Spanish?
So, funny story, I actually didn't want to learn Spanish. In 7th grade, we got to pick our own classes, and I was really excited to like figure out my own schedule and everything like that. And I wanted to learn German. But my mom told me, no, you're never going to use German, so you're going to learn Spanish. So,
hey, Miss Lloyd.
That is the reason why I learned Spanish.
Good old mama. You know, I hear that a lot in my guests. Their families at some point had influence.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot. That's good. Good old mama. So how did you learn? You already kind of hinted at starting in school, but was there something else? So I guess what are the different ways in which you learned?
Absolutely. So from 7th grade to high school, I took like formal classes, so learning all the grammar and things like that. And then after that, I kind of let Spanish go to the wayside. Once I got to college, I didn't really do anything with it. But once I started to get into my internships, I realized there was a real need for Spanish. So what I did, joined some online communities, one of the main ones being Shared Talk. It was a program by Rosetta Stone. It's like an online community where you come in, say, hey, this is where I'm from, this is what languages I speak, this is what I want to learn. Everybody comes together in the chat room. You can chat by voice, by typing. And then that way I started to meet people from other countries. And we would just share information like that and share language skills. So that really helped me a lot.
Does that group still exist?
It does not. Well, yes, it does. It got deleted, but it came back. It's different now. It used to be free. Now it's a paid service. It was really, really popular. So I understand why they're paying now. Or like charging, I should say.
A friend, or maybe he is your brother, says, ¿Qué pasó, hermano? Truly true?
Yeah. We went to high school together.
Okay. He said, what's up, brother? Okay, good. All right. Well, that's a good story. That's really where it starts sticking for you through the internship. And then you said it's called Share Talk?
Yes, Share Talk.
All right. Good. Next up. So now, how do you keep your language skills sharp?
So I stay in communication with a lot of the people that I've met through my travels. So I've done most Latin American countries. So I meet people along the way through there. We keep in contact through WhatsApp. And then also I use Spanish pretty frequently in my job. So in court, sometimes I interpret in proceedings. And then other times I'm just in communication with Spanish speakers.
Talking about that, and really I need to skip these questions and get to the 30 countries in 30 years. But you mentioned court, and from my comprehension, the big fields of interpretation are medical and court. Mm-hmm. And they say court is really more difficult because it's so tedious and technical. So did you have to become a certified legal interpreter, or how'd that go?
I'm actually in that process now. I'm working with some of the official interpreters to try to get me to that level. Court interpreting is a lot of technical terms, a lot of very specific terms. So I've picked up a lot of Spanish that way, and I've become a lot more familiar with my Spanish that way, comfortable, I should say. But as of now, I'm just like an unofficial interpreter. I don't have the certification to like do an entire court proceeding, but I can help out.
I got you. Felicia, your god sister, says she's very proud of you. And hello.
Thank you.
All right, that's a good story. And I just thought to say it. I'm gonna say it now while it's on my mind before I forget. It is so great that you can contribute to the world of foreign language learning, Brennan, especially because you're a Black male. And you know, it's already not a lot of us in that world. But then especially not a lot of brothers. Right. And so I appreciate you, because when I think of what Black man speaks Spanish, you know, I think of the people in the group we met in, which is melanated multilingual. Shout out to the administrators. But like on a national known level, I can only think of the dude from Bilingue blogs, Ricky. Have you seen him?
I have.
That's the only person.
He's actually from here. I'm not remembering.
Well, good. Ricky, if you're watching this, you need to come on and respond so you can get on the show, because I have reached out. But anyway, if I think about a brother, I'm like, you know who? So it's just great that your existence represents.
Actually, I have 2 recommendations for you too.
Sir?
I have 2 recommendations for you too.
I'm ready to put them on. But when we, send me that information. Okay. Now, when you were back in 7th grade, or since you said it was a gap, let's maybe go back to when you first started getting serious. So when it resurged, at whatever point, what did you find most difficult when you first started learning?
I would say like being comfortable speaking was the biggest thing for me. I was able to catch on to the grammar pretty quickly. I was able to catch on to the vocab pretty quickly. But when it came time to like actually talk, I would shut down. I wouldn't say anything. Well, I would say 2 words and call it a day. No Spanish for me.
Even though you comprehended everything that was being said.
I could write it down and back and forth, but when it came time to say it myself, no thanks.
And I tell my students, I think it's the same for everybody, honestly. That's the last step, speaking, because not just because you don't know it, it's just because you have to fight yourself and get over that fear. It's that fear of sounding dumb. If sounding dumb, I'm gonna say it wrong, or they're not gonna understand. Look, once I got over it feeling dumb, I probably sound dumb now, but I'm over it. It's just, look, ¿me entiendes o no? Podemos hablar o no? If I say a little, an N and an O, I say it with the A, I'm over it. Too bad. Right. So, but I get it. That's a good point. It's always, so how did you combat that lack of confidence?
My internship definitely pushed me out of that box. So like I said, I hadn't really spoken Spanish until that point. So when I got to my internship, literally 98% of the folks there spoke nothing but Spanish. So in order for me to communicate, gotta get it together.
Sink or swim.
Right.
Yeah. Woo. All right. Well, that's good. Thank God for the internship. That's good.
Right.
Samuel Lopez Chavez says, "You're the best, el mejor. Brennan el mejor." All right. Hey. All right. So next up, is there anything that's still difficult for you?
With Spanish at this point, I don't think so. I'm pretty comfortable now. I still slip up sometimes with some verbs here and there, but for the most part, I'm pretty comfortable with Spanish.
You got it. All right. Now we can, let's just go on and cut to the bigger story of 30 countries in 30 days. I don't know if y'all caught that in his introduction, but that's what he has done as a goal for his 30th birthday. Didn't y'all see a picture that he had on my announcement? Wasn't he sharp? That was from his 30th birthday photo shoot. But anyway, so when did you even decide that's what you wanted to do? I'm not gonna say tell me where all you've gone, because it may be a long list, or it's long, but it may take a while. But just give us some of the countries, and then what made you even want to start that goal?
So I would say I really got into travel maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I had not really been out of the country before. I'd done some mission trips. I'd been out of the country maybe twice, and then I had never had the opportunity to explore on my own. So years ago, I decided, hey, let's see what the world's like. So maybe 3 years ago, I think I was at maybe 19 countries, and I had seen somebody else post on Instagram like a 30 by 30 challenge. I was like, oh, what's this about? And it was to visit 30 countries before you turn 30. So the job I have is pretty flexible. So instead of overtime pay, they give us benefit time. So anytime we work extra, that's extra vacation time for us. So I use that to my advantage and decided to see the world. So in that time span, I visited 11 countries. Like in the 3 years I visited. Yeah, in the last 3 years, I think I visited 11 countries. Some of my favorites have been Cuba. Dubai was awesome. Australia was fun. New Zealand. I've been to every continent but Antarctica, just because it's a little expensive.
Wow, that is
But
so
yeah,
beautiful. When you go, how long are you there?
it depends. So if it's like an island country or something like that, then I would do a long weekend, maybe 3 or 4 days. If it's somewhere far away, a little bit over a week.
Because of
But at
that
least,
distance, that plane ride, yeah.
and then the time difference, so it doesn't make sense to go for 3 days.
Good point. 30 by 30. Well, hey, I got 2 years left, and Corona, because of Corona, I don't know how traveling about to be, so I don't think I can do that. But that's still beautiful. I love it. I love it. Mario says hello. Mario, excuse me, that's not true. Marion or Marion Pittman, excuse me if I messed up your name. And Susie Nicole says hello. Well, Brennan. See, I told you you're famous. This is why I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think we've had this many guests in this series. So you bring it
If you
all
all
the
can
people.
join in.
You bring it all the people. All right, guys. Let's see what else. You already talked about 30 by 30 and going to 30 different countries. So I'm sure that this is a part of it. But in other ways, how has learning Spanish benefited you? And you've really talked about that through the internship and your current job. Any other reason, way in which it's benefited you personally, professionally?
So professionally, I've been offered a number of different jobs where bilingualism is a necessity. And people always tell me like, hey, you're a Black man that speaks Spanish. You can be at the top of this company. Why aren't you? Personally, I've gotten to know a lot of amazing people. Some of the folks that have checked in here are from different countries. So I know Samuel was here. He's from the Dominican Republic. So I've met some really, really great people just from having the opportunity to learn Spanish. Getting to know different cultures. I love food, and Latin American countries have some of the best food. So that has been awesome.
They do. They just keep coming in, Brennan. They just keep coming in. What's her name? Miss Marion or Maria? Miss Pittman says you're their atlas. Susie says you speak Spanish better than she does. Andrea Greatness says, hey. Harry Gillis says you have friends all over the world. I see Harry because they all in here. And Marion says you're an awesome translator. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to stop reading these comments. Nicole Parker says, hey bro. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna wait on the comments. I'm gonna wait. All right, Brennan, let's keep going.
Okay.
People automatically assume a person will easily make a lot of money being bilingual. And they say, like, this is what I've heard. Oh, you making that big money. And, every region's different. Let's say big money's 100,000, around, in a ballpark. Have you found this to be it's a positive stereotype or assumption? And then have you found it to be true that because you were bilingual, you've made not necessarily 100,000, but quite a bit? So what are your thoughts there?
It's definitely a common assumption. Like I was just saying a little bit ago, people always tell me, hey, you're a Black man that speaks Spanish. You should be at the top of this company. But in the social work field, it's not really the reality. Like the job range is really wide and you can really find a job easily being bilingual. But with social work and like nonprofits, the pay isn't always there. So for example, here in Chicago, you can find a bilingual job and you'll start at 35,000 at a nonprofit, compared to like an agency can start at maybe 50 or something like that. But it's not always up here. It's good pay, but it's not the best per se.
Yeah.
So like maybe private practice, I'm sure they make more money, but
that's honest. I'm gonna see my 100,000, but I still, just because I left with the degree and started speaking, it wasn't like somebody said, here's 100,000. No.
I was another career field maybe, but social work,
yeah,
it's not right now.
Yeah. Next up, how do Latinos start to respond when you start speaking Spanish?
So it depends on where the person's from. I've noticed that even in court, I've had some people say, oh, I'm not used to somebody your color speaking Spanish. So certain groups aren't used to darker skinned people speaking Spanish, although darker skinned people are all over Latin America.
Exactly.
But I've run into that a few times. Like some people will hear me speak Spanish and they'll be like, why are you speaking Spanish? It's just that reaction. Whereas others are like, oh, he's one of us. Like, hey, what's the deal?
Dominicano. Es dominicano. Es
I
cubano.
get that a lot. People always ask if I'm Dominican.
Es de Colombia, de Cali. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. So certain groups will respond better than others. So certain groups are a little more hesitant with me speaking Spanish. Like I said, a lady in court straight out told me, oh, una persona de tu color no habla español.
And I wonder, do they mean to be offensive, or they just really sharing their thoughts?
I think it's just a shock point for them. I don't think they mean to be offensive. It's just like, oh, I guess darker skinned people do speak Spanish. And like even in like telenovelas and things like that, you don't really see.
They don't show us. Yeah. They don't show us. Even in commercials.
Right.
Yeah, you don't see us nowhere. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Andrea Greatness says she's jealous when you start speaking Spanish. Frederick Alfonso says, hey. Andrea to the point of the people's comments says, wow. Harry says you speak Dominican Spanish. And that you be out here playing. All right. So now flipping it to the other groups, how do Black Americans, European Americans, and others react when you start speaking Spanish?
They're usually really, really receptive. Most folks are asked like where I'm from. So if it's not normally if it's not like a native speaker, they'll ask where I'm from. Most people think I'm from an island. Most people will say Jamaican or Dominican or something like that, or Cuban, things like that. But I've never really had a negative reaction from anyone that's not a native Spanish speaker.
That's good. That's real good. And I know I'm kind of touching on your introduction, but from what I got, you said your mother is of African descent or is from Africa, but she has never been there. Is that right?
Since she was adopted, she hasn't been back. Not yet.
Gotcha. Okay, there we go. So did you? I don't know. Through her adoption, did she still remember her native tongue, or?
Well, most Liberians speak English just with an accent. There are certain languages within different tribes, but most Liberians speak English. Okay,
thank you for educating me. Because I was getting to the point of, are you trilingual or quadruple lingual because of your upbringing, your culture? But okay,
so I do speak Portuguese, but that's not a part of it. I learned Portuguese on the side.
Okay, I got you. Hey, that's still good. And I hear that they're really similar, so I'm sure that helps.
Yep.
All right, next up. So now to give advice to others who are viewing this, what do you recommend to people who want to learn? And I mean, how should I say this? Through this business, I've met people who everybody say they want to learn. Let me just be clear. Mm-hmm. But then when it's time to give them some work or say, hey, listen to this every day, do this every day, put a little bit of Español in life every day. They're like, okay. So for people, I guess, who are serious or aren't, what do you recommend for people, a person that says they think they want to start learning?
I would say be honest with yourself. Like if you don't have the time and the commitment to focus on a language, then don't really expect yourself to get to the level you're looking for. Amen. As fast as you could. The other thing, it's a lot easier said than done. I know that's cliche, but do not be afraid to make mistakes. It's gonna happen regardless how long you've spoken a language. Even in English, I sometimes make grammatical mistakes. It's natural. So don't be afraid to make mistakes in the language that you're learning. People respect the fact that you're just trying. So put your best effort forth and you'll be good.
That's good. Speaking of as fast as you want to, you mentioned that wording. How many years do you think it really took for you to be where you are? Do you still count high school, or that doesn't even count because you skipped it? Out of the years, are you really getting serious about how many years you think it took?
So I will credit high school for like all my grammatical knowledge. All of that stuff stuck with me. But as far as like the speaking and the fluidity, I would say that took me maybe a good 2 or 3 years just to like be able to flow and not have to think about what I'm going to say before I say it, and to be able to comprehend and respond effectively. I would say a good 2 to 3 years.
That's great. That's beautiful. Let's go to the comments. Joy Deanne Johnson. We use him to translate. Tracy Cosby says hello. Yeah, it's 24 people there. I ain't never had 24 people. This is great. Thank y'all. And y'all really staying. Like the number hasn't dropped. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate you. Tracy Cosby says hello. Maria R. Godínez Meza says she's very proud of you. Mi hijo profesional. Miriam Pittman again. She says, very proud that he can translate for us. We always ask it. These must be people from work.
A few of them from work, yeah.
Susie says she makes mistakes all the time.
Hey,
Cicely Caldwell Thornton says, thanks for saying that part about making mistakes. This is what holds me back sometimes. She says,
do not be afraid to make mistakes. I still make mistakes, and I use Spanish almost every day. So it's going to happen.
Señora Mesa says, continuous practice bien hecho. Michelle Rosada Colon, great questions, Tasha. Gracias. And Brennan is awesome. Well, I appreciate y'all. Look, if y'all like the page, I'm here every week. Estoy aquí cada semana, cada viernes a las 7. Estoy aquí. All right. Okay. We went through this quickly. Is there anything else that you would like to add, like a funny story or another piece of advice or just anything?
So people always ask me, or I shouldn't say always, but people frequently ask me, like, what can I do to learn Spanish? So there are a few things that I still use occasionally. So one is Duolingo. It's like a grammar tool. It's kind of like a game tool. You can practice your grammar. You can practice vocab things. It's a fun way to learn. It has Spanish, Portuguese, French, tons of different languages. So that's something you can be on maybe 20 minutes a day just to learn your grammar. Watching TV shows. So something that helped me a lot. Caso Cerrado. Have you seen it before?
No, sir.
Okay. So Caso Cerrado, it's like the Spanish version of, it's like a fusion of Jerry Springer and Judge Mathis.
Well, I can watch that then. You know, it's dramatic. So it's going to entertain me. Yeah.
Very, very dramatic. They have very off the wall topics. And sometimes they bring in they'll twist real life topics. So if something's happened in popular media, they'll bring it to the show, but add a twist to it. So it's not directly taken from a real life thing. But the thing I like about it, they have people from all different Latin American countries. So you'll hear people from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Argentina, Colombia, Mexico. So you hear all of those different accents. You'll get used to how those different accents sound. So I know some people listening to me may say, hey, why is he not finishing his words? I learn with more Caribbean and coastal speakers. So I'll chop off some of my words. I won't say all my S's. So you'll get used to those different accents through this show. And so there'll be two different episodes per show. So in one episode, you may hear somebody from Mexico, and the next one you may hear somebody from Puerto Rico. You get two different accents.
Is this on Netflix or Hulu? Where is this through?
It's on regular TV. I think it's
Univision? Telemundo?
Yeah, one of those. It comes on every day.
We don't have real TV anymore, so I gotta find a little way to get the channel.
Find it on YouTube. All the episodes are on YouTube.
Oh, let me make a note. Caso Cerrado.
I
need to start watching that.
Yeah, it's good. It really helps.
And then, with stuff like that, like in real life, let's say it's in English, I feel guilty because it's garbage. But now I can say it's educational. Okay.
Exactly. Something I do with that show, when I was watching, I would listen for words I didn't know, and I would write out how they sounded. And then later on, I would go back and try to find the word and then look up what it meant that way. So even if I didn't write it correctly, I could write how it sounded and try to figure out what the correct verb is or what the correct word is that way.
Muy listo. Okay, so Duolingo, Caso Cerrado. What else?
So another thing I do, go to restaurants where most of the wait staff doesn't speak English. So that'll help you get out of your comfort zone because you have to be able to communicate what you want. Like aside from pointing out a picture, like let's say you don't eat something, you have to be able to communicate to that. You communicate that to that person. So being in a place where you have to use these skills, you have to get comfortable with your Spanish.
That's good.
Or if you can, I think there are still a few websites out there like Share Talk where you can chat with writing or with voice. I know iTalk is one. Hello Talk is another one. You can download these on your phone. You can chat people during the day. They can send you audio notes and things like that. So there are a lot of tools out here to help you learn.
Are you familiar with lyrics training?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I'm sure you like music. It's a winner, Brennan. It teaches you Spanish through lyrics, and pretty much you would be advanced at this point. But the lyrics are missing from the song, and you have to type in the word that's missing. So it's definitely good for those beginners. Okay,
yeah,
let's
fun.
see. Okay, I already read that one. So we're back to Senora Mesa. We at CCSAO are so proud of him. Andrea Greatness says she loves the app. I think she's talking about Duolingo. And Eric Baez, ese es mi amigo Brennan Baldwin. Saludos desde República Dominicana. With the
Saludos.
Okay, well, that's it. Es todo. Now, wait a minute, 25 years, don't leave. Because we're going to go over his introducción otra vez, pero esta vez in English. So at the beginning, if you're watching the replay, Brennan and I had a discussion about, he gave his introduction about himself, and it was in Español. So now is the time for you to see, what did you catch? What was right? What was wrong? So here we go. So we know your name is Brennan. Brennan, where are you from?
I'm from LaGrange, Illinois. It's about 20 minutes outside of Chicago.
Okay. And tell us about your pastimes. What are some of your pastimes?
So my favorite pastimes are traveling and eating. So I made a goal for myself to get to know 30 countries before I turned 30. And I was able to complete that this past November with my 30th country. And to date, I've been to 32.
Now, where were the last, I was going to ask where was the last country, like at 30, but where were the last, I guess, 3 countries, 30, 31, 32? What were they?
So this past February, before Corona hit, I went to Switzerland and Greece. And then last year, my 30th country was Canada. I had never been. It was kind of a last minute trip. Me and my mom decided to take a road trip, and it's about 8 hours from Chicago. We just said, hey, let's go. That was my 30th country.
All right. And I'm going to
stop
stop
right first passport stamp.
I'm going to ask 2 questions right here. I'm going to say them now before I forget them. It's, what's your favorite food from some of those places, not all? And then, how do you feel being a melanated person? Because I mean, never in my heart has it been to go to Switzerland. I'm trying to go where I feel comfortable, or I can speak Spanish. And so that's what I want to know. That in the food, so we can, whichever one of some favorite dishes. And then, how does it feel to be in some of those places where it's no Spanish and no Black folks?
So the food question is hard for me because I eat all the time. So I'm gonna have to think about that one a little bit.
Just give me 3 whenever you get to think about it. Just 3. Done. Just 3.
Okay. Bandeja paisa from Colombia. So it's chicharrón, it's steak, chorizo, egg, avocado, rice, and did I say beans already?
No, sir.
So it's seven courses in one, essentially. And it's one big plate. I love it.
And it's called what?
Bandeja paisa.
Bandeja paisa.
Uh-huh.
Okay, next.
I love tacos. I can eat tacos all day, all night. And then everything from the Caribbean. I'm a Caribbean food junkie. I love all of it.
It doesn't matter what it is.
All of it. Yep. Bring it.
I just discovered a couple months ago mofongo.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been telling myself I'm gonna cook it, but when a non-native cooks something, it's not right usually. So I don't even have anything to compare it to. Like, I feel like I gotta go to Puerto Rico or La República Dominicana to really get the real taste, then come home and try. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Okay. Now
that's the travel question, right?
Yes, sir. Well, how does it feel to go when you maybe feel a little more like an outsider because you don't have the language or the pigmentation?
So I haven't really had any negative experiences, at least at this point yet. In Switzerland, in European countries in general, they speak so many different languages that you can navigate pretty easily. If I'm not speaking English and I'm speaking Spanish or Portuguese. I went to France last year and I spoke more Portuguese than anything else.
Wow.
But I haven't really had any negative encounters, I'll say, in countries where I don't speak the native language. In most Spanish-speaking countries, they just treat me like I'm another citizen.
A native. That's good. Let's go to the comments. I mean, people just keep coming. Woo! All right. So who is this? Letitia said you had some great advice. I think when it came to, we were almost at the end and you were talking about the different tools to try. Bruno Garcia dice, saludos desde El Salvador. Brennan es mi amigo. That's so nice. Woo! Angelica Zapata. Somos vecinos, amigo. I'm about to mess up your name and I'm so sorry. Jero, it is what it is, boy. I hope I got the first name right though. But that's the whole name. Is that Jero? Jarrreaux. So it's that like, oh, Rue, maybe Jeru. It's that Louisiana spelling. Rue. I'm sorry. But anyway, this person says, OMG, I knew this young man when he was a baby. I feel so old now. Susie Nicole says, I know he likes comida de Nicaragua. Thornton says, we hosted an exchange student from Switzerland. It was beautiful when we took him home. And also, Thornton asks, on your taco preference, soft shell or hard shell?
Soft shell all the way. I don't do hard shell.
Letitia says, you're the best. Brennan is the best. Angelica Zapata, but have you galloped on a horse in Little Village? That's an inside joke or something? Okay.
No. Little Village is the Mexican community here in Chicago.
Thank you. Okay, I'm sure like I'm very lost. Okay. All right. And then Jerome says that's right. I'm not sure into which responding to which comment. But okay, this is good. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all. Well, I really do think that's it. Oh no, I'm just kidding. We didn't finish the whole English introduction. So now tell us a little bit about your family.
So I have a pretty big family. So for those of you that have been listening, my mom was born in Liberia. She was adopted when she was 2 years old. So we have her biological family from Liberia, some families here in the United States, but she still has tons of family in Liberia. We have her adopted family, which is also large, and my dad's family is just large in and of itself. But my more like immediate family, I have 3 brothers. I'm the second oldest, and of course, tons of cousins and my mom and dad.
Sounds good. Your job or jobs, what do you do?
I'm a social worker. I work with survivors or victims of domestic violence in the criminal courts here in Chicago.
Okay. And what do you want to do in the future if it's different from what you're doing now?
I have wanted to work in immigration for the longest time, just based on some of the things that happened with my mom as she was coming to find out that she wasn't a citizen. So did I explain this already? I don't want to go over it twice while I went over it. In
English, I think you did, because I remember you referring to something in the introduction. I think you did.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, a favorite Spanish song or singer?
So there's a song called Te Gusta. It's a mix of reggaeton and Afrobeats. So there are a few Afrobeat artists, and then I think everybody speaks in Spanish at some point in the song. So it's a fun song, nice beat, good driving song.
Okay.
I can't remember who the main artist is, but it's called Te Gusta. You'll find it.
Okay, thanks. I will look it up. And I said but do you have a favorite singer as well?
In Spanish?
Yes, sir. Spanish singer.
I can't say I do.
Not a favorite? Okay.
I like some of everything, so I can't say pinpoint a favorite.
That's honest. Well, we are done, guys. This has been great. Let me finish with these last few comments. Okay. So Angelica wants you to know that a brother did ride a horse through Little Village during the riots. And Alex Rocha says hello from Cartagena, excuse me.
Saludos, hermano.
Well, this has been great. I mean, I've never had so many comments on this thing. I've never had so many people watch. So thank you. But no, besides that, thank you just for your life experience and your contributions to this, because people are going to see this and their mind's going to be expanded. Their level and way of thinking is going to expand. Thank you for the work you're doing. And as a social worker, thank you for the work you're going to do with immigrants. And it's just great. You're a representation of greatness, Brennan. And I pray more brothers say, okay, I'm going to learn too by seeing you.
I appreciate it. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well,
we have some recommendations for you. They speak Spanish way better than I do.
Who? Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, yeah. Once after this, you can send it to me in Facebook or email. Oh, and I usually do this. Is there any? I don't think you have a business out of this, but if people want to follow your journey, is there anything you want to shout out, a website, or just how to connect with you?
So you can follow me on Instagram. My name is Sir Brennan Ball. So the first for my first name, first for my last name. Check me out on Instagram. You can follow me here on Facebook. I'm pretty open. I respond.
And you never did a vlog with the 30 before 30?
I started it, but I got kind of lazy. Don't judge me. But
no, hey, it's work. Right. It's work.
It's a lot of work. It really is.
No, it's all right.
But you can, all of my stuff is on Facebook. All of my albums of the countries I've been to, all of that's on Facebook. You can check out the pictures. I always try to take as many pictures as I can so people can experience the countries that I'm
with you.
For those that can't travel or don't have the means to travel, I want you to be able to see what the country is like from my pictures.
Living vicariously through Brennan. Well, buenas noches. I appreciate you a lot. I just can't say enough. Gracias, gracias, gracias.
Thanks for having me.
Buenas noches.
Gracias a usted.
Good night to you, viewers. Thank you.